damn it. Let's see my shit again. Alright, so I found actually I completely forgot about this, but there were some French rework teasers over here. We got currently just the 8 of them. I almost said 9. It would have been nice if there was somebody there, but there isn't. Yeah. So we have the struggle, imagination, fly, work, dream with your boy, wild, temper, and embrace. Yeah, you might have recognized some of these. So I recognize some of them. We don't know who these guys are gonna be yet for their faction, but in order to find out what the fuck all this shit means, let's read this. The artistic state that governs France runs in ways that many in the outside world consider strange, but behind all the mystique and glamour, things are quite simple. The Front National, the Avant-Garde, is less of a political party and more of a coalition of various political and cultural movements, units, secret societies, and even the paramilitaries that make up the body of France. And all the parties and other movements, besides the ones in the Fang, are banned. So it's sort of a one-party kind of state, with the one party having multiple sex. While all those who govern the state are ideology what one would call accelerationist, the individual members vary in individual policies. They all work together under authority in les conseils pour rajeunissement. The main governing body of France, each member of the conseil, is a leader of their group, and they all vote together in sessions. Although le patron still has executive control when it comes to the running of France, and is the premise interpret in les conseil itself. So your boy basically still has all the power, but different leaders can influence and I guess jockey for his influence. Makes sense. While the fledgling state has handled things very well so far, who knows what the future may bring. I mean, look at all this. Yeah. So I feel like with the French word, there's gonna be lots of possibilities for deciding how your nations run, basically. Oh, you know what? Yeah, sorry about that cut. I had to check on my dog. They were barking at something earlier, so let's see what the fuck that was. That was nothing as usual. See, as I was saying, it would seem like Le Patron still has like the power, but it can just basically like try and convince them of their ways, I guess. Or maybe even try to, usurp that position, maybe? Who knows? It's possible. Again, this is speculation. I don't know if that shit's actually gonna be in the rework. And we don't know exactly who the rest of these are. Although, we'll have to see just how all of it goes. Like, how their paths go. Like, we know Bataille. We know of Nungisi. So, how different their paths are gonna be in the rework is kind of up to the debate. I think I overheard, well, not overheard. Actually, I think I did overheard that they're gonna be changing Bataille's path to be less of the complete degenerate that he is and more of based on what he actually believes in. I don't know how the others are gonna fare in that. Like this man, for example, Augier. I'm pretty sure that he's gonna get completely different. But this is the other teaser. This is basically a brief overview of the factions all over here. And here's your boy, Augier. Along with Leon the Gros. You might know him as the I think he was a Belgian fascist in real life. Jacques Salvizer, Alphonse de Chateaubriand, and Pierre Drouet. And him and all of these guys are part of this colonelist. That's how you say it. It looks like, yeah, pretty sure they're gonna get rid of that imprint path, if I remember correctly. Either that, they're gonna completely rework the whole sort of archeo futurist. I think that's the word. I don't know. This whole thing of French is just fucking weird. Like, I don't know what the fuck anyone's like fucking ideas are in this. But let's get down to Augier, who I think is as of now the only one that actually has an in-depth background in teaser form. You know, if I find out any more, I'll make a follow-up video. Yeah, I'll title this as part 1, depending on if there's any more teaser videos. Probably will be, so I'm just saving that for the future. Anyways, enough rambling. Let's talk about Les Cardinalistes. Les Movement Cardinaliste, or the Cardinalist Movement, is a group co-founded in 1928 by Marc Augier and Jacques Schweitzer, preaching Augier's doctrine of cardinal fatherlands. They see the idea of nation-states as a vile concept, one designed to tear apart and draw arbitrary lines among the European peoples. While the exact method of remediation for the nation differs between the PSC, Augier, and the Ascadron, at least, all of them agree that Europe must be united and made whole again, and that great collaboration between European nations must ensure for the survival of them all, both in physical form and in spiritual form. So the whole goal is basically fuck borders, unite the people. So it is like the end path defense where you get cores on the entirety of Europe. But yeah, it seems like there's gonna be a bit different ways than just complete conquest, I think. And also Ascadron here influence, so it seems like we're gonna have a bit of mixing between like the big faction, because as of now you have the Ascadron, SFL, and the Druidist. And it seems like there's gonna be a combination, or at least like some people that mix the groups in with whatever they're a part of. I think it'll be interesting to see all the different variations. Anyways, Marc Augier, the boy himself, is thought of by many in the avant-garde as a reactionary in disguise, as a seemingly traditionalist view flying in the face of what many among the new elites see as a proper, as ironic as it is. However, there is nothing further from the truth. While Augier reviles the First Republic as does the Second Third, this does not make him a supporter of the monarchist cause either. Instead, Marc Augier has his own fiery doctrine, one firmly nestled in a third position of contemporary French project, the Movement Cardinaliste. Third position. I think there is actually an actual like political group, or at least a political ideology. I think. I don't know. I think I've heard of it before, but I don't know what it is. Harking back from 1928 in the wake of failure of the Fourth Republic and the Action Française, Marc Augier theorized a post-nationalist idea of cardinal fatherlands, a united European supranational state divided among cultural and ethnic lines into small divisions, but all working together as one. His ideas caught on like wildfire among the former reactionaries, drawing support from both from former Meurice supporters, as well as more moderate conservatives. However, Marc Augier is not a conservative, as he wishes to see the old order of Europe cleansed in a hail of steel and shot. For Europe to truly be united as one, the state must first be cleansed, from Lisbon to Moscow. The Christian decadent Europe of old would purge from existence and give birth to a new young Europe, united both in spirit and in destiny. So they're gonna get rid of that Christianity, boy. I don't know if they're gonna make that for all Celtic religions, or they basically mean they would go to neo-paganism, right? I don't know if they would do that. I think some of them probably would embrace neo-paganism, but that's just an idea. Or that's just a thought, speculation, really. Anyways, Léon Joseph Marie Agnes de Grelle is a man that not many would expect to associate with the artistic regime, as his Catholic faith would appear to be in stark contrast with the avant-garde agenda at first. However, this is not the case, as the Grau's played an instrumental part in Marc Augier's rise to power, cementing himself as a vital member of the new leadership. After the failures of Morale and Action Francais as a whole, a disillusioned de Gaulle decided to join up with their movement colonialist, finding a kindred spirit in Augier and his plans for United Europe. Inspired by Augier, de Gaulle soon started agitating in his homeland of Wallonia. But you can take over France, either through like a coup or through straight up war. Attempting to tip the dominoes over and undo the disgrace of 1814, de Gaulle made a name for himself in France for a staunch proponent of the colony's agenda, with the pinnacle of his career thus far being blank, earning him the title of blank. Yeah, saving that fear for later, it would seem. Any doubts that may have been had about his devotion to the colony's costs and to France as a whole have been burnt away by his favorite speeches preaching the message of the continental fatherlands, like a pastor drunk on fervorous fanaticism. While some still eye him with suspicion about his true colors, none can deny his instrumental service to France thus far, and time will only tell how much brighter the rolling star will shine. Wonder if that means that he could go back on his word at some point, or if he's just really is that devoted. Interesting possibility. If you can't actually go back on what he said. Anyways, Marquis Schweizer has always been Marc Augier's right-hand man and closest associate, a co-founder of the movement colonialist. Schweizer went to assume the responsibilities of its day-to-day running, personally its youth wing. Schweizer and his Augier have become increasingly popular across France due to their promotion of green values, such as frequent backpacking trips across the forest, physical exercise, and a back to the soil camaraderie many young Frenchmen seem to enjoy, with what appeared to be silent approval from both Antoine Latorre and Augier himself. Schweizer expanded Augier throughout France, growing the youth hostel system across the countryside. The SSD have even begun to grow into a wing of their own inside the work on the least, no doubt due to a certain level of favor created by Augier himself. Ill-forwarded by pan-European positions, Schweizer envisioned a continent-wide society with no better than travelers who live off the land a deep spiritual connection to both nature and their ancestors. Leave behind the petty nationalism he accused the peers of harboring. Schweizer, much like Augier, was a supporter of paganism, wishing to cast out the yoke of Christianity alongside the chains of nationalism in order to liberate Europe once and for all. So yeah, seems like these two are gonna be neo-pagans, or at least follow pagan beliefs. If they get the power. And it seems like he wants everyone to live a nomadic lifestyle. And not really like do away with industrial, I think. At least I haven't seen anything about like completely going against the industrial revolution or technology as a whole. At the very least, he just want to at least go back to nature and have the people do that as well. Anyways, Alphonse von Windenbeck, der Chateaubriand. Never butchered that. A man unlike any other, descending from an old Angevin bourgeois, born in educated at Saint-Creux and living in a multitude of different places. Chateaubriand, is a man of many coats. I'm fucking slurring my words at that, goddammit. I apologize. A Catholic, a cardinalist, and a friend of Marc Augier, Chateaubriand has become a vehement pioneer of regionalism for most of his life, and though they've done colonialism, his family connections and wealth have contributed to the explosive rise among the French populace, as well as explaining where Augier gained all those motorcycles. Enlisted service as an ambulance driver during the Great War, Chateaubriand was eventually conscripted into the trenches as France lost more and more land. His firmly Germanophile attitude was chipped away. Bullet by bullet, reaching a crescendo after the war when Germany fell to the Red Menace. Cast astray in a Serbian world, he turned to espousing redoubled views to regional freedom, and said views would lead him to take part in the early days of movement colonialist. Soon his rhetoric and cash shot him through the ranks. His reverence for Augier proved to be a valuable point developing the colony's theory. However, Chaltenberg is his own man, and commands significant power within the movement on his own right. De facto, he is the leader of the faction internally known as the East, a group who dogmatically follow the word of Augier, or is Chaltenberg's interpretation of it, often butting heads with the more young Adjustee. The Puritan see Europe as a family of equals with Augier, which Chaltenberg by his side, will usher the new age of Europe, one of the cardinal fatherlands. So it seems like he could be a successor to Augier, in case anything happens. As a guess, though, I don't know if anything could happen to Augier. It's possible, who fucking knows. And lastly, Pierre Leroux, may have started his career as a simple novelist, but the Great War changed and deformed his perception of the world forever. Destined to fight for in the Verdun carnage, Leroux quickly realized the failure that was the modern nation state and sought new forms. I'll check that later. Sought new forms of political expression, exploring simultaneously Charles Action Francais and the newly born French avant-garde. Paris soon fell to his knees in praise of its young rider, drowned in song and crazy decadence and spiritual rejuvenation. In the convoluted use of the Fourth Republic, an increasingly radicalized Leroux found an opportunity for regeneration in the new mayor of Paris, Antonin Artaud, becoming one of the most energetic defenders of media after the last triumph in 1934. He enthusiastically joined the movement colonies for Augier. Leroux successfully appealed to the faction of the movement that clamored for a post-national Europe that combined the modernity of futurism and the spirit of the old Roman Empire of Charlemagne. A futurist and a traditionalist, a nationalist and a Europeanist, a Catholic and an anarchist. Pierre Leroux is a man many seemingly contradictory ideas, who yet dominates the minds of dozen upon dozen of warrior saints ready to kickstart the beginning of a new Europe. He seems like a very radicalized man who combines all sorts of beliefs into what he believes now. Yeah, this is very interesting for the archaeo-futurists. I think that's what it is. Or at least like a return to some tradition. It seems like there's a lot of possibilities over here, so who knows what could be in these. I'm excited to see what else they got in store for France. Seems that is the first station that can get a rework, and seems like even in just one faction, there's plenty of possibilities that you can choose. So yeah, with if this rework does come out, expect me to play a lot of France and explore all sorts of paths. I still don't know what I want to do first, but if there's one that particularly gets my attention later on, and I do a teaser video on that, I'll be sure to make it apparent that I want to do that path. Anyways, this is the Mad Artist with the French rework teasers, part 1, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be more teasers of this. I hope there is, and I just did put part 1 into this and did nothing else after it, but if I find out any more parts, I'll let you guys know via videos. Until then, I'm the Mad Artist, and I'll see you later.